Guys, welcome back. Jesus loves you. So, Donald Trump says he's not happy about Israel strikes in Beirut. Israel struck Lebanon, and then Iran strikes Israel. So, Donald Trump is not happy. So, what does that mean? Absolutely nothing. Your feelings don't matter, right? Is he going to do anything about it? Is he going to stop funding Israel? Of course not, because I'll let you fill in the blank there. Let's put it this way. He's telling Bibi, he's going to call up Bibi Netanyahu and he's going to tell him, you better stop bombing Iran. You better stop bombing in Lebanon. And he thinks that Bibi's going to listen. No, he doesn't think Bibi's going to listen. He knows Bibi's not going to listen to him, but he's playing his part. He's playing his game. He can't look like a total pushover. I mean, come on. He's Donald Trump. He's supposed to be big, strong. You know, he's not a dictator. He's not a Nazi, but, he's... close. He's adjacent, right? I mean, we want a big, strong leader, right? He loves Kim Jong-un and all these guys, right? But he has to have the appearance that he's in control. Nobody tells Trump what to do. Trump makes up his own mind. That's what they say on Fox News, right? Daddy Trump makes up his own mind. He changes his own Pampers now. He's got pull-ups now. He can pull up. He can do his own little Pampers, right? So, but no, really. Who's in charge here? And people say, no, there's no way that Israel and Netanyahu, no, Trump's his own man. He does his own thing. Okay. And we just heard that Trump was really angry at Mr. Netanyahu and he used the F word. Right? He used the F word against Netanyahu. So he's really mad this time, just like Biden was mad the last time. Well, Biden really gave it to Netanyahu and then he gave him $1 billion. So what does it matter if he's mad and uses the F word if he continues giving him money and continues sending our boys and girls and non-binaries to die for their cause? It means absolutely nothing. So this is how we'll know if Donald Trump is his own man and makes his own decisions and is not dog-walked by Bibi Netanyahu, as the New York Times put out that article and that picture showing that. If that's not the case, Donald Trump, that you're not dog-walked by Bibi Netanyahu and he doesn't have blackmail over you or whatever it is, as he sends Melania out there to talk about the Epstein files when Donald Trump says, don't talk about it. And his own wife comes out and says, we're going to talk about it. Gee, I wonder if they got something on him. Maybe not. I don't know. But the way he can show us that he's not dog walked by this foreign country that we're not allowed to criticize, that we give all our money to, that they're just passed a law that is going to merge the Israeli military with ours, which it already was. Our cops and military are already trained by Israel. George Floyd, knee in the neck. Yeah, that's an Israeli move. Okay, you'll see Israeli soldiers doing that to Palestinian children. And we're supposed to give them everything and not criticize. Okay, all right. So I got it. So if you're not controlled by Bibi Netanyahu and our greatest ally, then what you'll do is, after you use the big bad F word against your best friend and your boss, I'm sorry, maybe he's not your boss, Netanyahu, but prove that he's not your boss, right? By bringing the troops home. Very simple. Put your money where your mouth is. Do something. Stop sending our people to die for no damn reason. Iran is not a threat. They never were a threat. They will never be a threat. Actually, they probably are a threat now because of what you're doing. So quit while you're ahead. You've done enough damage. Pull everybody home. Pull everybody home. He just lied to everybody's face and said to all these grieving parents, as we've only lost 13 servicemen and women, bull, it's more than 13. They already know that. We already know that. There's been tons of reports that it's more than that. They're just hanging on to that 13 number. Oh, I'm sure that's it. No, it's a lot more than that. And 13 is more than it should have been. Right? And he lied to us. The brazenness of this liar. And this is not Trump derangement syndrome. He lies more than any other person. They did a study and they showed in his first term, he's lied more than you can just hear in his speech, you can count the lies. It is what it is. That's his role. He doesn't even believe in truth. He believes if you say it, it becomes true. You got to understand Trump and the way he thinks and read his book, understand his philosophy of life. But he just told the American people and the parents that have family members overseas because of this Iran debacle that he won't even call a war. He calls it an excursion. Lord have mercy. He lied to their face and said, because he keeps going with this, there's going to be peace, and then the next day we're going to bomb them back to the Stone Age, which is complete insanity, because there is no peace. We know that from the Bible. He lies to them and tells them, get ready to see your family members. That's what he said. Everybody missed it. I heard that. I said, it's like taking the knife and putting it in your back and jamming it and twisting it. That's what that is. Just completely lying. You're going to get ready to see your family, and then the very next day, the war's not over. We're going back to war. We got to do it. Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. Blah, blah, blah. Lie. Excuse. Just like Iraq had weapons of mass destruction that they didn't have. It's all lies, guys. To use our military, to use our resources to fight the wars of this country. And they co-opted the Christian church. This is why you're not allowed to criticize this country while you're a Christian, because your church has been co-opted by a political movement called Zionism. Here we are. Many people are waking up. They're seeing it. Wait a second. Why? If Islam is so evil and so demonic, well, what about Judaism? Is Judaism evil and demonic? How dare you say it? You're not allowed to say. Well, wait a second. Why wouldn't I be allowed to say that? I mean, that's just factual. I mean, if Islam is demonic, why isn't Judaism demonic? Right? Christian church will sit there and say, oh, Islam demonic, the New Agers, the atheists, especially the leftists, oh, the communists, they're all demonic. Okay. What about Judaism and Israel and Zionism? That's not demonic? Lord have mercy, guys. We've been co-opted, we've been taken over, but many people are waking up, and more people are going to wake up every single day that Israel does what they do in Lebanon and kills Christians in Lebanon and bombs preschools and hospitals and baby buildings, and it's every single day. Like, it's brazen, just evil. It's brazen evil. And you're not allowed to say that in the church because your mind has been taken over, or they're trying to take over our minds. And we refuse. I'm on the side of truth in Jesus Christ. Yeshua HaMashiach, the true Messiah of the world, the true Messiah of the true Jewish people and the true Israeli people. Whoever they are, I have no idea. I can't tell you. Neither can they. They can't prove it. And they know that. That's why they banned DNA testing in Israel. And they just had a pride parade in Sodom and Gomorrah. And that's your country that you want to support blindly, where they have free abortions for women. Make it make sense, guys. They want to do a Handmaid's Tale over here. Take away every woman's right. They want to ban contraception, some of these people. They want to ban pornography. They want to be on every facet of your life. Just make everything illegal that they think you shouldn't do, even though they're doing it. Right? The definition of a hypocrite, which is that you're doing a sin and then you're judging others for doing that sin. You're a liar. That's what a hypocrite is. They're liars. That's why these Republicans, people who are obsessed with the LGBT issue, it turns out they're messing around with people of the same sex. Yeah. This is psychology. This is common sense. This has been going on forever with the Christian church. It's ridiculous. All right? They want to make a Handmaid's Tale over here. Make basically a theocracy. Christian nationalism. From my understanding, I don't know. Charlie Kirk might not have been for Christian nationalism. The more I look into Charlie Kirk, all my issues with him, and I have a lot, he actually was less extreme than the people who took over his movement, less extreme than Erica who took over, less extreme than the rest of these nut jobs who took over his movement and who took over the country and who are now going to war with Iran. Charlie Kirk didn't want a war with Iran. He clearly said, in fact, that was one of the last things he said. He talked to Joe Kent and he said, please talk to the president and don't let him go to war with Iran. Because Charlie Kirk had faith in Trump. Well, that's gone. That's long gone. If Charlie Kirk was here, he would have... They had to take him out. I mean, look, they already knew he was going to be a problem. He was the biggest influencer in the right wing. Candace Owens is another big, but she's, they call her crazy so that people don't listen. Right? But they're taking away all our rights here, just making all kinds of crazy laws, and meanwhile, we're going to support free abortion in the Middle East for Israel because they're our greatest ally and they're the only democracy and they have the same values that we have. Again, make this make sense. Right? Israel is the biggest pusher of the LGBT movement. That's factual. and other things that the Christian church supposedly doesn't support in America, right? If they could, they'd probably make being gay illegal. I remember when Russia did it, they were happy about it. They were like, Russia banned the LGBT movement. They made it illegal. Oh, isn't that great? We should do that here. Right? And then, oh, well, we need to bomb that country over there because they make women wear hijabs. What? If it was up to you, women in America wouldn't be allowed to wear bikinis in public. You want to shut down OnlyFans. I mean, there's a politician right now who's talking about shutting down OnlyFans or making some huge tax on it, right? They're obsessed. They go on these podcasts and call these women all kinds of derogatory names. They're in the right-wing manosphere, right? They're obsessed with it. Like, live your life. What happened to the old school, conservative or old school liberals? They were just like, hey, you live your life. It doesn't, if as long as you're not harming me, I'm cool with it. But the political movement, the government, etc., the Christian right, the Christian church has convinced people, no, they are affecting your life. Look, there's trannies. Look, I'm sorry, trannies is like a derogatory word you're not supposed to use. And I try to respect people's, feelings on that. Try not to use the R word also. Right? But there is transvestites reading children books in public libraries. Oh my God, the world is ending. Or, if you don't agree with that, don't bring your kid to the Storytime Hour with Divine from Pink Flamingos or, Frankenfurter from Rocky Horror Picture Show. Like, if you don't appreciate drag, which you should, because drag's pretty awesome, and my Christian friend and brother was just telling me that, how awesome drag. He's like, you ever been to a drag show? I'm like, no, and I'm surprised you're saying that, because he's a right-wing Christian, I think. But he's like, no, it's really good. It's like there's art and there's performance and there's, and sometimes even women perform. So if you're not into that, don't bring your kid there. It's okay. And I understand there are issues, and I realize that the left is pushing some things. At some point, the public system, I get it, the public school system, at some point you can't put your kids in school if that's how you feel. And you got to figure out how to get them to a Christian school, homeschool them. The solution is not to shut down everybody and attack everybody and make them start behaving. No, that's not going to happen, first of all. That's useless. That is a absolutely useless endeavor. You're going to try to make them follow your God's laws when you can't even follow your God's laws. Sounds like in the Bible, right? When Peter and others were trying to put restrictions on the Gentiles that even the Jews couldn't do themselves. Right? It's grace for me, but not for thee. No, it's enough already. Another thought about the synagogue of Satan, right? You go to church, you say, synagogue of those who call themselves Jews but are not, but are a synagogue of Satan. And you think, is that modern Judaism? Oh, how dare you, you anti-Semite? Get out of the church. You're not saved. You're this and that. Well, who is it then? We don't know, but it's not that, because the church has been taken over and you're not allowed to criticize these people. It seems that the synagogue of Satan might have taken over the church, and that verse is very on point and calls them out, and you're not allowed to see that or say that or understand or believe it. Right? Isn't it interesting? The synagogue of Satan. Who is it? No, it's not that. It's not the people who call themselves Jews. But Jesus says they call themselves Jews. Is there any people who call themselves Jews other than Jews? Well, I guess the black Hebrew Israelites. Oh, maybe it's them. Maybe they're the synagogue of Satan. Oh, yeah, maybe they're the ones persecuting Christians and taking over the world. And running governments and running Donald Trump and the American government. And again, this is not about Jewish people. Jewish people are just like all other people. Everybody is good. We all have good and bad in us. It's not about the people. It's about the leaders. Who is taking over? Jesus says, I know of your trouble with those who say they are Jews, but are not, but are a synagogue of Satan. Behold, I will make them who say they are Jews, but are not, but are a synagogue of Satan. Behold, I will make them that bow at your feet and know that I have loved you. Who's he talking to? I believe he's talking to the true Jews. There are a bunch of people who are true Jews, which means they believe in Yeshua. Yes, you can be ethnically Jewish, but you're not a true Jew according to the Bible, unless you believe in the Jewish Messiah. There's going to be a civil war in Israel, guys, coming up in this Daniel's 70th week, this time of great tribulation, and many Jews will come to Jesus. They'll probably call him Yeshua or Yeshua. And there are many Jews who will be against that and will persecute those people. And that's what that verse is talking about. They are a synagogue of Satan. Is there any other religious group that meets in a synagogue? Right? I mean, the church will have you believe that's Muslims. It's like, okay. And again, maybe they'll be like, and they mess with the words and they make all things, oh, well, it doesn't mean synagogue. Oh, it doesn't mean Jew. It means believer. Maybe. But again, and then they'll put it to like, oh, well, it's all people who reject the gospel. So it's like, the new world religion, through the Pope most likely, and it's Islam and it's Catholicism and it's this. Okay, what about that religion that shall not be named? Is it that religion too? Again, not the people, but the religion, the belief system. And obviously people who follow that. Is it them too? No, you're not allowed to say that. And again, I'm not saying these people are like inherently evil or anything like that. You guys I always talk about, like, if you follow your will over God's will, that's evil. So it could be said that you're doing evil. Could it be said that you are evil? I don't know. That's a different question. I'm not saying anybody's evil. But there's evil being done in the name of God, and that's evil. We should be able to call that out as Christians. So, what can you do? We're back at war, and it shows us whose interests we are under, right? Donald Trump's talk with Bibi Netanyahu, he says, oh, I'm angry at Bibi because he did this and he shouldn't have done that. Okay, so he's admitting, they're showing their cards. They're admitting to the world that what Israel is doing is not right. We shouldn't be supporting it. And then what do? They go back and they literally then support it, which shows that they have no moral backing. They have no moral standing. They don't stand for anything. They're controlled. Or if there's some other explanation, please let me know. Right? So, love you guys. Keep coming back. Jesus loves you. Let me know what you think in the comments. Peace.